We've got new RhinoCam Vertex stitching adapters for digital medium format and APS-C cameras. Hey everyone, Sean here with Fotodiox.com, and today we're announcing new RhinoCam Vertex stitching adapters. We've got new adapters for digital medium format cameras and APS-C crop cameras like this Fujifilm X Pro 3. Our new RhinoCam Vertex adapters for digital medium format cameras include Fujifilm GFX and Hasselblad XCD. And our RhinoCam Vertexes for APS-C cameras include Fujifilm X-Mount, Canon EOS M, and Sony E APS-C. Now, if you know what RhinoCam Vertex is, this is pretty exciting news. But if you don't know, don't worry, I'll explain it to you now. Our RhinoCam Vertex adapter line is a line that allows you to adapt a lens with a larger image circle than the sensor of the camera, and then it allows you to rotate the sensor of the camera, which is offset on the adapter, around the vertex of the lens, taking 4 images that you then stitch together in post for a larger stitched image. And the final stitched image is square, very reminiscent of medium format 6x6 images. Just one note, these are not for adapting native lenses to native cameras like a Sony E-mount lens to a Sony E-mount camera. This is for adapting non-native lenses to native cameras. For instance, a Nikon F-mount full frame lens to a Fujifilm X-mount APS-C camera, or a Hasselblad V lens to a Fujifilm GFX camera. Now, when we launched RhinoCam Vertex a couple years ago, all we had were full frame models. These were models that rotated a full frame sensor around the image circle of a medium format lens and then allowed you to stitch the images together. But now we're also offering RhinoCam Vertex adapters for medium format digital cameras. And this is for adapting those digital medium format sensors to lenses that have even larger medium format image circles. Rather than shooting through the center of this lens, you're shooting around the vertex, stitching the images together, getting a higher resolution shot. And here's some reference guides showing you what you get with a Fujifilm GFX medium format camera versus what you get with the RhinoCam Vertex and an adapted medium format lens like a Hasselblad V. And we're also offering RhinoCam Vertex adapters for APS-C cameras. Like this one here, this allows me to adapt a Nikon full frame lens to a Fujifilm APS-C camera. And because the image circle of the full frame Nikon lens is much larger than the sensor of the APS-C camera, I'm able to rotate it around, take 4 shots, stitch those together, and I'm basically getting a full frame plus image. Full frame because I'm covering more of the image circle, but plus because I'm also getting a little more on the top and bottom of this full frame lens than I would get on a full frame camera. And again, when you stitch these 4 images together in post, you're getting a square image rather than a rectangle one, giving you a very medium format reminiscent look. And if you use a fast full frame lens like this f1.4 shoot wide open, you get a really nice shallow depth of field in a square format. Here's an image I captured of a giant meteorite crater out in Arizona. For this shot, I used a vintage Nikkor 20mm lens adapted to a Fujifilm X-mount camera. I composed my shot and made sure the image was cropped just how I wanted it. Then I captured the 4 shots. Then I took the 4 shots into Photoshop, used Photo Merge to merge them together, and voila, a beautiful square medium format style landscape shot. Let me walk you step by step through the process of using a RhinoCam Vertex. Each RhinoCam Vertex comes with a tripod foot that has a 1/4-20 thread on it, but it's also Arca-Swiss compatible. And this is important if you're using a camera with a large hand grip. You're gonna wanna mount it on an Arca-Swiss head, and then make sure you slide it to the rear of the Arca-Swiss mount so you have enough clearance for the grip when you're rotating the camera. First off, you're gonna want to compose your shot. When you look through the camera, you're only gonna see 1/4 of your image, which means to compose your shot, you're gonna kinda wanna set it up, look through the camera, and then turn, look through, compose, turn, look through, compose, turn, look through, compose. And after you've looked at the 4 separate images you're gonna be capturing, you can kind of get an idea for the composition of your shot. So once you have it composed, you're gonna want to focus the lens, obviously, and then you're gonna wanna make sure that all your settings are manual. You don't wanna shoot in auto mode because there might be some change in light between the 4 images you're capturing, and this could affect the final stitch. So choose a shutter speed, choose an ISO, choose a color balance. Okay, once your composition is set and your settings are all locked in, you're gonna wanna simply take the first shot, rotate, Take the second shot, rotate, take the third shot, rotate, take the fourth shot. And it's as simple as that. You've got your 4 images. Then you simply bring them onto your computer, go into Photoshop, click File, Automate, Photo Merge, select the 4 images that you took with the RhinoCam Vertex and stitch them together. And just in a couple minutes, you should have a beautiful stitched shot, which you can then edit a little bit in post, do some cropping, and voila, there you go, your final image. And this is the same process whether you're using an APS-C RhinoCam Vertex, a full frame RhinoCam Vertex, or a digital medium format RhinoCam Vertex. You're still going to take 4 images and composite them in post to create your final image. Now, a couple extra tips with the RhinoCam Vertex. Stay away from auto color balance because it could change between shots, which would make it much harder to stitch the final image in post. I do not recommend using it for a crowd scene with lots of people moving around or vehicles. Basically, you're taking 4 images one at a time, and if people are moving or subjects are moving, you're not going to be able to stitch them together in post. Like in this image, I've got a car driving behind a light pole and it's disappearing because by the time I took that 4th photo, the car had already moved on. You're also going to want to avoid a lot of movement like in trees or water. If a tree is being blown around in a wind or there are really choppy waves, this could be difficult to stitch in post, unless you use a long exposure to blur the motion, and that makes the stitching a lot simpler. Okay, that was a quick look at RhinoCam Vertex and our new digital medium format RhinoCam Vertexes and our new APS-C RhinoCam Vertexes. Once again, for the digital medium format RhinoCam Vertexes, we're currently supporting Fujifilm GFX and Hasselblad XCD. For the full frame RhinoCam Vertexes, we currently offer Nikon Z, Canon RF, and Sony E full frame. And then for the APS-C RhinoCam Vertexes, we're offering Fujifilm X, Canon EOS M, and Sony E APS-C. If you have any questions about the RhinoCam Vertex, questions about using it, questions about different lenses, comment below. I'd love to help you out. And if you'd like to learn more about RhinoCam Vertex and possibly get one for yourself today, click the link in the description below. Also, click right here to subscribe to our YouTube channel to get more videos just like this one. I'm Sean with Fotodiox.com, and happy stitching.